Hey beauties, so today we are playing with the Morphe Second Nature palette. It is 3502, so really nice, a lot of earth tones. So I'm starting off with my Essence eyeshadow primer. If you hear meowing, it is Scotty. He's like, I mean, he's normally kind of a vocal cat, but he is like super vocal today. Anyway, I've really been liking this Essence eyeshadow primer, so that's been my go-to lately. So I just kind of blend it in with my finger, and I've been doing the lower lash line as well. I don't really know if I have to, so maybe I'll skip it at one point and see, if it really seems as necessary as I seem to think it is. I just love eyeshadow on the lower line. See? Did you hear him? Okay. Anyways, we are starting off. The first color we're going to go into is Orb. Okay, so we're using Orb, which is a nice matte light brown, sort of tannish, a little bit orangish, and we're using the Morphe E22 brush. Scotty, you're being too much, yo. And this is what we're going to be blending into our crease-ish area and above. I really like this brush. I feel like it's great for this. It's really good at diffusing the color. And yeah, I just like it. So I just continue to slowly but surely add pigment until I got the color payoff that I really wanted. Seriously, dude? He's so needy. Um, Anyways, yeah, so I really like this brush. I feel like it's perfect for that type of like blending above the crease. And again, I'm just trying to build it up in the areas that I want, so I don't want it to be too built up in the outer corner because sometimes it drags my eye down. I want it to be sort of like in the center, but also on the inside. So anyways, yeah, this is me attempting to get that sort of perfect like beginning type transition shade going, because I'm not sure where I'm going to go at this point. I just know that I have a lot of like really warm browns and bronzes that I can go with. Okay, so next we're going into the Morphe E17 brush, which is a slightly more tapered, detailed brush, and we are going into the color Risky, which is very warm toned, and obviously a little bit darker. So for this, I'm going to stay a little bit closer to the crease and then blend it up. And I'm just going to build this up and just kind of continue to intensify the color as best I can. So just continuing to blend and then going upwards into the original transition color Orb, and again trying to keep the intensity more in sort of like the center. I don't want it too dark on the inner portion of my eye or the outer portion of my eye, just because personally I don't think that looks as great on me. And now I'm going back into Orb and the original brush, which was the Morphe E22, to just kind of make sure it's blended out and it's smooth along those edges. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm still dealing with Scotty. I don't know what his issue is. You're very needy. Okay, so now we're going into Brunette, and we are using a unique crease brush, and we're putting this in the outer portion, like the outer V of our lid, and really just building this up. So this is a more neutral, maybe even a little bit cool toned brown that we're just using to try to give some depth into that outer corner. I'm really just trying to create that, and as I do this, I'm trying to bring it up a little bit into the crease and then also have it on that outer edge, so it is a little tricky to try to find a bit of a balance. This is where I saw that on my right eye I did go in a little bit further on the crease, so I thought it was a little bit more flattering, so I went back onto my left eye with that crease brush and that color Brunette and tried to intensify it more a little bit there, just because I thought that that ended up looking a little bit nicer, like that shape. Okay, so now I'm going back into Risky and the other Morphe brush, so that again, when I add this newer color, I go back and add a previous one to blend it out. Okay, so now I'm going into the color Zodiac, which is a little more coppery and a little darker than I actually initially thought it was going to be. So I put this on like the inner half, maybe inner 3/4 of my lid. It does look really beautiful, but again, it is quite, it's a bit darker than I thought it would be. So then I go in with a JH51 brush, and in that outer portion, I'm going to go into another shimmer, and this one is called Zippy, and it is a darker coppery brown, bronze type color, and I'm going to just blend that. Now this is when I realized that it actually was not as dark as I wanted it to be, so I'm going into the other color brunette and then mixing it with Zippy so that I can have that darker, like deeper looking outer portion. And I think that combination worked really well. And I think it's a good idea to remember that sometimes you really can mix two eyeshadows to give yourself a color that you really like. Okay, so then I'm going in on the inner half of my eye. And I should have used a brush because I just got it all over my face, with the color Zodiac, and then I used the brush that I had just used, the JH51, and I had a mix of brunette and Zippy on that. Then I went into my retractable NYX eyeliner in the color Brown. I'm always looking for like the crazy names of colors, and sometimes they're just normal names of colors. So this one is called Brown, and I'm just lining my lids as I normally do. Alright, so just trying to get a nice even line to thicken up my lash line. Then I'm curling with my Shu Uemura eyelash curler, and then I go in with my Covergirl Lashblast Volume Mascara. It's funny, I forgot to do a second coat, so yeah, there's only one coat on my upper and lower lash lines for this tutorial for whatever reason. And then I always end up getting mascara on the side of my face, and then I wiped it with the finger that I used for eyeshadow. I do that like pretty often. Anyways, I did get that off, and then I went in with the Karity in the mattes, one of the lip glosses called All Night Long. This was a bit darker than I thought it would be. You know me, I'm usually, I know, I'm usually like a lighter lip color person. I feel like that's just more flattering, and I like to do the eyes a little more dramatically, but this is a, I don't know, it is a deep color, but it's also kind of neutral. So anyways, I ended up really actually liking this color, and it did have decent staying power too. If you've never tried any of the Karity lip colors, they're super affordable. I think they're like $6 each. So anyways, yeah, I think that was a good choice. I think it went well with this. And that is the finished look, and there I am smiling for you. That's not weird at all. It doesn't look creepy. Anyway, so this is the finished look. I really like this nice warm-toned palette, so I'll be doing some more looks. So let me know what you think and if you have this palette. Thanks so much, guys.